I believe it's pretty much official at this point. We are in a bear market. We have started the bear market. Bitcoin and the altcoins continue to decline. The big question is, does it make sense to buy back in? How much further could we fall down from here? Let's have a look at some price data. Not on-chain data, but price data. Let's have a look at what kind of ranges Bitcoin long-term in the grand scheme of things is trading in. And the chart we are going to look at today is not necessarily hyper scientific, but I still like it quite a bit because this approach used to work pretty well in the past. What we've got over here is the Bitcoin price over the very long term, and we've got two curved lines. So those are not mathematically derived. Those are simply just two curved lines that historically connected the tops very well. They also connected the bottoms very well. So the price was hovering between those two lines. If we take this as a given for future price movements, then we could potentially fall down all the way to 30K. If we suddenly turn around and we turn bullish, then the upside is to roughly 115K. So according to this approach, we are pretty much now in the middle. We are not super cheap. We are not super expensive. But what we also have in this chart is a moving average. This is a 1 year moving average, or the 52-week moving average. Now again, this is not a very scientific moving average, as in I don't have any numbers why it specifically this moving average should work well. But I'm not trying to time the market based on this moving average, as in I'm not trying to buy whenever you go above or sell whenever we go below. For that, I've already done a backtest for the daily moving average. If you have that approach, then feel free to use the 120-day simple moving average. That historically worked the best if you simply want to buy whenever you are above or sell whenever you are below. But this time I want to look at something else. With the 52-week simple moving average, I want to look at the difference. I want to look at the delta of the current price to that moving average. So let's zoom in a little bit. What we can see is that sometimes the price is way above that moving average, sometimes it's way below that moving average. And we've got a zero line over here. That's the horizontal line in turquoise. That's when the price tends to cross the moving average. And so what we have got here on the y-axis is the multiple. How much higher is the current price relative to the 52-week simple moving average? And it seems like the spikes that we see from one bull run to the next seems to be declining relative to that moving average. So the euphoria gets slower and slower, and those peaks align quite nicely, right? Historically speaking. In other words, just based on this approach, we could have quite nicely anticipated the cycle top. Let's take away the zero line and look instead at the potential bottoms. This is when the price historically was 40% below the 52-week simple moving average. So we're trading closer and closer to the moving average. The extremes get smaller and smaller, but we tend to be bottoming out at 40% below the 52 simple week moving average. Now, where is that moving average right now? It's at 47K. 47K times 0.6 brings us a bottom of $28,000 per Bitcoin. That's not that far away from this randomly drawn line, right? The randomly drawn curved support line. 28K, 30K, this seems to be a pretty good target in case we see bearish momentum. There's also the average cost basis of the market, which currently sits at 30.8K. And sometimes, of course, the price can fall below that average cost basis, and that was historically a very nice time to buy. So does it make sense to sell Bitcoin right now? I think it very much depends on your portfolio allocation. If you don't have any Bitcoin at all, or you just have very little relative to your income, then of course you can simply just continue to dollar cost average in. If you are, however, overexposed because you already bought a lot at say 20K per Bitcoin, and you potentially even got leverage, and now 50 or 60 or 70% of your entire net worth is in Bitcoin, I believe it makes sense to de-risk. Again, I don't have a crystal ball either. I'm simply just sharing various approaches. And if we just look at the ranges that Bitcoin was trading in relative to the momentum, relative to the cost basis, relative to moving averages, we are now neither super cheap nor super expensive. And so why should we be over allocated to the market if we are not super cheap now? I am sharing exclusive content, exclusive videos in the free Telegram chat, by the way, as well. So if you've got Telegram, feel free to join us. The link is down below as well. Looking forward to chatting with you. Cheers.